What's going on, SEO peeps? Wolf of SEO here. Just wanted to touch base about a few trending topics that are happening in the organic SEO world for 2016. I've been reading up on a lot of different articles. Year over year, there tends to be kind of the same topical, fundamental things that people focus on as far as how many, types of links do we need, private blog networks, content, so on and so forth, the Phantom update, the Penguin update, the core algorithm update. And so I just wanted to take a few moments to share with you kind of my thoughts on what are some of the key things to really look for as a business owner in a digital marketing agency and what they are specifically doing when delivering services to you. More recently, as some of you may or may not know, Google's actually taken legal action against some of these agencies. I myself have actually gotten phone calls. I've recorded some. I put them out on my Twitter handle if any of you guys are interested in listening to that conversation. It's quite humorous at Wolf of SEO on Twitter. But anyways, there's a lot of different moving dynamics that continue. And so I just want to kind of lay out a couple of things based on the importance of your digital agency and help you guys understand some very specific questions as it relates to how to get your site ranking the right way. Fundamentally and kind of historically, there's been a lot of segmentation between, social media, between local SEO and kind of the organic SEO. But we're starting to see through the influence of organic pressure or algorithmic pressure that organic is starting to kind of infuse a lot of those different kind of components in order to help rank. So in terms of verticalization, we've seen specific industries like the restaurant industry as an example. If you were to search for a pizza restaurant and you geo it maybe by your particular city that you're located in, you're going to start to see on your desktop a lot of the results that happen underneath that 3-pack are usually directory or social media associated. Whereas 3 or 4 years ago, even 2 years ago, you actually had more opportunity as a business owner to have your actual website be ranking there. So there's a lot of kind of churn that's happening within the SERP results in that respect. So I think you're going to start to see SEO evolve. Really, is it going to be possible for your website itself to be ranking on page 1, and is that realistic? And the flat out answer is it depends on a couple different things. A, the competitive nature of your industry, and B, kind of what you actually offer. And of course, there's always the back-end technical aspects. Is your site responsive? Is it mobile ready? I'm not going to talk about kind of all the generic things that most people do talk about. I think one of the key points, though, that we should elaborate on is, when talking to an agency, ask them about how they infuse and collaborate social media into their organic strategy and what does that look like, and have them give you examples. We have actually tested, and I have tested and have proven out that there is definitely a influence of social media and posts with particular links back to particular pages on the website that do help with SERP ranking. And so a lot of agencies, I think, are behind the times on that. I think they still live in that kind of segmented, boxy, hey, we sell social, it's separate from organic, versus kind of a holistic strategy based around your key core objectives. And those key core objectives really vary based on what you seek to achieve and what KPIs and what things actually feed into those objectives. So you might say, hey, I want more leads, I want more traffic, I want more customers. What does it take to get you there? And so there are different kind of verticals or streams, you could say, that actually filter into rivers that then feed your lake, or your lake being kind of your website and your overall kind of core objectives and that ROI. And so what is it that takes in order for you to achieve those? So I think the first thing that you want to look at is is kind of those complementary services and really understanding what the agency offers that can feed into those. And so asking very key and very specific questions like, what is a collaborative effort that you guys actually measure and report back on, and what does that do? I think another component of that too is kind of the technical aspect, right? So we've seen more and more expansion within schema and data structured markup. That's going to be very vital for 2016, making sure your site has rich snippets, has schema markup for products, for locations. There's different types of schema markup, but making sure that your agency knows all the different variances of those schema markups and that they are appropriately placed throughout your website is definitely going to be impactful, because from a mobile perspective, the results, obviously having that markup will display differently against kind of a site that doesn't. So it'll allow your site to kind of stand out more and prompt more engagement, click-through traffic, and all of that. And assuming that your website is responsive and does have good UX, you should get a pretty good click-through rate and ultimately conversion point. You can channel. One of the things that I've kicked around is through the means of active listening and social. A lot of people are using Google now, for specific answers. They're seeking answers. So they're plugging in questions, and they're plugging in long tail based questions that have keywords in them. And so one of the things that you should be looking at is as a contextual strategy or blog strategy is how does your agency actually create blogs, and how do those blogs actually rank, and what is the referral traffic, and how does that impact your overall ranking in terms of conversions, business objectives, ROI, that kind of thing. Probably the best way and the most logical way and maybe the most obvious way is to go out and determine what are people talking about. As an example, not to pick on my favorite Mr. Matt Cutts. A lot of people I noticed through active listening, I went out and was looking, there were a lot of people asking, where's Matt Cutts in 2016? And I actually wrote a blog that says, here's where Matt Cutts is in 2016, and it was a satire that kind of infused the Star Wars dialogue, but and it was all completely fabricated, but it actually ranked on page 1 and got a very high volume of traffic because people were asking and seeking answers to that. And I wrote a blog based on best practices, infused keywords, hyperlinks, referral links, all of that, that then actually helped contribute to what people were actually looking for. So I think your agency has to start dynamically and fluidly looking at how to actually identify those type of trends as it relates to your business and your vertical and what people are talking about or seeking, and then bridging that to the services and the products and what you have to offer and the value that you have to offer. And then infusing social media into that as well. So I think those are just a few of my initial thoughts. I'm going to kind of expand on this video, but just wanted to take a few moments and get this out there because I've had a lot of people hitting my website asking when the next video is coming. I have had kind of some time to think about it, but I will expand on more of this in depth, but just wanted to kind of get that out there. Certainly feel free to hit me up on Twitter. It's at the Wolf of SEO. Hit me with questions, concerns, agencies. I will still continue to dive into agencies that are involved in black hat techniques, that are utilizing things like Mechanical Turk. It's sad to see agencies that will actually go pay for people to click through on particular keywords, hoping that that will help, using proxy servers and some of the things on the back end that really aren't ethical. So I'm still going to be involved in that heavily, but definitely hit me up if you have any questions, and I wish everyone a very good and prosperous, successful 2016.